Damn, my hair is getting long. Oh, yeah. Drink that in, fellas. This is what we're going to be listening to while I yap about metal. How y'all doing out there? My name is Brain Smasher. Hope you're doing good. I've got good news for you. I bought myself a microphone stand, finally. Been really jealous watching the heavy metallurgy guys have their pro thing, and I did it. Also, I'm addicted to buying things on the TikTok shop, so this was a great deal. Right? You know, if you know, you know. So I still have to worry about my tripod situation here. In setting this video up, I did manage to spill water all over all the albums that I'm going to show you today, so you're welcome. Speaking of you're welcome, I have not done a giveaway on my channel in probably over 5 years. Not a big fan of them, but I'm feeling charitarious today for whatever reason. The milestone, I hit 7,000 subs last year sometime. So thank you. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button. I'm going to do a giveaway today. Yeah. What I'm going to be giving away is this Darkness LA live DVD. So I had the pleasure of editing together the footage and putting this thing together into a watchable format kind of thing. And so you can enjoy it. This show absolutely smokes. So this just came out on Grimmnight Productions. This is the label I kind of partner with on some things. So Darkness LA, I'm sure you've heard me talk about them a little bit here and there, but they were a thrashy death metal band, kind of maybe still are, from Los Angeles. And these guys just cut their teeth alongside the likes of Jesse Pintado, Pete Sandoval, Necrophagia, a lot of those guys, Bloodcom, etc. Not the Necrophagia you're thinking of. Real close with Sadistic Intent. Here's a flyer for one of their old shows. Their Demolition particularly rules. So this is a live show from '98, which was kind of later on in their career. And it's at the Whiskey A Go Go, where they were actually opening for Mayhem's first tour date of their first U.S. tour. This stuff kills. You gotta check this out. If you want to pick up a copy, you can go to Nightmare Imagery Store Envy, I believe. I'll put a link down here and below. $10. You can get a copy. Or if you comment down below, I will draw your name from the comments below. You got to be subscribed, and you got to comment on this video. And I will send you out a copy of this Darkness LA DVD. If I get more than 50 comments, I will give away to the 3 random winners. You have until May 1st. Today is the 19th. I'm hoping to have this video up in a day or 2. So that'll give you about a week and a half or so. So, Darkness LA, it's only $10. Just pick up a copy. It rules. There's also a show from 87 or 88, sorry, on here. So it rules. I hope you check it out. This is so good. It's just a perfect blend of thrash metal, early death metal. This has really inspired a lot of the listening that I've been going on since I finished editing this thing together last fall or so. Also look out on Grimmnight. There is going to be CD discography of tons of unreleased recordings and demo material and stuff from these guys. It's just the band has been together for so long, and they've written a ton of songs. They just never really managed to successfully record much of any demos that were like well distributed or well recorded or anything. So we're putting together some rehearsal tracks and stuff, just like make a nice compilation of old unreleased stuff. And this though is my favorite so far recording of Darkness LA. So I hope you guys comment below, and I will pick a winner on May 1st, and then I will hit you up for an address. Ooh, my gross arms. Been working in the yard a whole lot. I'll pick a winner. I'll hit you guys up for your address, and I'll send them out to you pronto. Okay, that's out of the way. I've been getting a fair amount of stuff in. I just haven't listened to a whole lot of it, or, you know, to give you a full rundown of this stuff. But this behind me, like, this kills. I got this in the mail today. Doomed to Obscurity reissued these guys 2 demos, both with the same cover artwork, but they are different demos. I think my autofocus is finally back in action. Yeah, pretty much. Really gross cover artwork. I'm really a fan of that. I hope YouTube doesn't know what I'm doing. 96, 97 demos. This guitar player went on to be in Dehumanized. Y'all should know Prophecies Foretold is a real banger there. So I hope you like it. Poor Man's Cannibal Corpse. You know, it's nothing super remarkable or original or anything, but I don't know what it is. Just generic demo late 90s death metal lately has just been... I want it so much more than your big label death metal bands and stuff. It's just because I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. Where do we start here? Been on kind of a Norwegian black metal kick. Realized I've never really wound up picking up the Mortem slow death demo on any format. Always been kind of curious to give that a listen. I've probably, I don't know, downloaded it or something a long time ago, but I didn't know that Peaceville had done a reissue of it. Now, so CD1, okay, there's a re-recording of the entire demo. Yeah, Slow Death. So the original Slow Death release is here. And so this includes a re-recording of the demo in its entirety, and includes 2 extra songs. I don't know what they were, but I gotta say, the re-recording of this demo is garbage. Not a fan. Didn't really care much for that Ravensfart album that they did when they reunited a couple years ago. But the slow death material is pretty good. Like, these guys went on to be Arcturus, basically. I think this is even the band that Hellhammer was in before he joined Mayhem. But I don't know. It's not amazing like so much other Norwegian black metal is. It's death metal, but yeah. So I don't know. I picked it up for like $10, so it's no big deal. But I am a completionist about a lot of the Norwegian stuff, so just kind of weird that I didn't have that in my collection. I don't think it was reissued until that pressing, which came out in like 2022, maybe 21, something like that. I don't know, but the re-recording is stupid. It's so stupid. Hellhammer also took part in a re-recording of Dimmy Borgir's Stormblast, which was fucking sad and pathetic and useless. Don't like that guy. So also speaking of Norwegian black-ish metal, another hole in my collection that I've never really wound up getting around to, and it's weird because I've heard this album a dozen times or so over the years, and I like it, and I have this band's other two albums, in my collection. I've just never got around to getting a copy of this for some reason, and it's kind of rare, kind of hard to get under a reasonable amount of money. So I found a copy that was seriously damaged. Speaking of water damage, but here we have Bloodthorn with In the Shadow of Your Black Wings. You know, I don't really care. The artwork is great. It's done by Alf Svensson, but this was like $6. Yeah, the disc is fine. I'm here all day. I'll get this all. Yeah, I'm all here for this. I buy a lot of pressings that are kind of fucked up as long as the media is fine. Because like I can look up this imagery on Discogs or whatever. It's whatever. This isn't a collector's relic. And yeah, I like it. It's a good album. The female vocals on it are a little over the top. They do kind of a little hard for me to stomach. But I don't know. It's pretty good. I always appreciated how it's kind of got like a patience to the album. It has a sort of low-key, sort of mystical aspect to it without being like death metal all the way. It's just a real unique listen. Their other stuff is not nearly quite as great. But yeah, just been enjoying having that back in the... Well, never had it in the collection, but finally getting my paws on that guy. Shall we get into some vinyl? And then back to some other stuff. This came in. This is the new one from Skagos. One of my... Probably my favorite Cascadian black metal band. Chariot Sun Blazing. I believe they only did 100 copies of the vinyl. And it's just a screen printed guy. I don't know. These guys were fantastic from like 2005 to 2010 or 11 or so. And then we just kind of didn't hear from them again. But they, out of nowhere, just put this out and kind of surprised everybody. And, it's really, really good. I haven't really given it a whole lot of a listen quite yet, but this was an instant purchase for me. So I'm looking forward to digging into this quite a bit. I'm sure it is incredible. So if you haven't heard Skagos for any reason and you're into atmospheric, especially Cascadian black metal, that really like branches off from Wolves in the Throne Room, Agalok, stuff like that, this band cannot be missed. My favorite was always Ast, but apparently everyone's saying this is better than Ast, so that should be fun to dig into. A couple other reissues came in. Osmos doing some fantastic work lately with Frozen Shadows. I've always loved these guys. Henty says hi. Henty says hi. Has been an album I am in utter awe of for a long time. I've been with these guys since the demo days. I ordered their demo out of the back of a Red Stream catalog. It's not very good, so I didn't get the reissue of it on vinyl. But I always thought they kind of showed a lot of promise, and then sure enough, when they did this one, Dance of the Immortals, I was right. They're great. They've never really put out anything that wasn't exceptional. I just think that demo it's not good. They re-recorded the demo, and it's a little bit better. I have that on CD, but this is kind of all I need, I think, from these guys. I believe here I'll bust out a vinyl. I think they put it on blue. Yeah, check out that baddie. Yeah, Hanty says is like insanely fast, hyper speed black metal with excellent riffing. Kind of reminds me of maybe like a French Canadian version of 1349, I guess. But just tons and tons of atmosphere. That band rules. Let's finish up the vinyl, shall we? Also picked up this reissue, Tumno, Across the Horizon. Tumno were a Swedish death metal band that you should definitely be familiar with. And what's great about them is this is really all you need. This is an EP that had 6 songs on it with a couple of bonus songs from another EP. So it kind of plays like a 8-track album. It's perfect. Recorded in Sunlight Studios, originally released in '93, if I'm not mistaken. And there were, I think, CD reissues, but I think this is the first time it's been on vinyl, maybe since it was originally put out. Purple vinyl there. So the Crypt did this one in conjunction with Vic Records. I would love to see like Vic Records and the Crypt do like kind of the same thing. Like Vic Records can do the European versions of all the Crypt reissues, and then the Crypt can do the US versions of all the European, or all the stuff that Vic Records does. I would love to see like a collaborative kind of thing like that, because I'm getting Vic Records stuff quite a lot. And it's not always that well distributed or easy to track down. You kind of got to be there. You kind of got to find out about it right away, or just kind of like suffer through the dregs of what's left over in distros. But beautiful artwork from Christian Wallin, Necrolord, and that is a masterpiece. Seriously, the first, is it Savior Reborn, track 4 on here. If that doesn't get your head banging, you don't have a head. I keep forgetting to put this one on a collection update, and I think I spun it like once or so. I just haven't really had a lot of time to spend spinning records in here. But this is Paradox with Heresy, kind of a underrated classic. Thrash metal, originally released 89, and this is a Roadrunner pressing, but it's a recent reissue. I didn't know Roadrunner was still reissuing stuff. Not sure. It looks very vintage, but it was brand new, sealed. I think it's in conjunction with something called Real Gone Music. I don't really know what that is about, but I happened to have this album downloaded on my phone, and I had been listening to it, and I was over visiting my friend Cal from Grimmnight Productions, and he had just gotten it a bunch of copies in for the distro and hooked me up. So thank you, Calvin. I love you, brother. So that is all the vinyl for now. I'm excited to tell you about a reissue that just came out on A Fine Day to Die Productions. A label that's new to me, but this is a release that I discovered maybe just last year, if I'm not mistaken. So we all know that there's 2 Nagelfars, basically. There's the Swedish one and the German one. Well, I have another one for you. This is the Norwegian Nagelfar, spelled without an E like the Swedish one. So So there's a Swedish Nagelfar. I believe there's even another one out there floating around somewhere. But this is just some of the most perfect Norwegian black metal that you're ever going to hear. And this has just been living in obscurity for so long. Only released on cassette demo back in the day. So A Fine Day to Die reissued the 94 demo along with Morgul's In Gowns Flowing Wide demo. And this just came out limited to 50 copies, if I'm not mistaken. But it was also done on cassette. And on the cassette, you also get a bonus, the other demo that Nagelfar did. It's got a long Norwegian title that I'm not sure. This was actually remastered by Eric Hundvin, aka Pitten. So the demo that's on here and on here was remastered by Pitten. I don't know if that's recently. I would be surprised because as far as I know, Pitten is not active anymore. Maybe at least not in the like black metal world. But you gotta hear this. This is tremendous unreleased stuff. It's like tragic that it has not been officially released until now. So style-wise, this really reminds me of like Vindir, the first Borknagar, Ulcus. Really awesome shit. First Moctatus album. It sounds super Norwegian. The thing, so there's a little interview in one of these, I can't remember, but apparently the band were so up their own ass that they weren't going to release this to the public at all. So that's probably why this remained in obscurity for so long. But another thing is like they refused to consider themselves black metal. And I guess the idea behind that was that they wanted to incorporate folk song arrangements with black metal to enable them to call it folk metal or like Norwegian folk metal. And like, you know, a hill to die on was that they, like, we are not black metal. We are folk metal incorporating black metal stylistics. I probably could have just read that verbatim, but whatever. This is tremendous stuff. I will show you how tremendous I actually think it is. 1 second here. Love it so much, I bought 5 copies of the tape and 5 copies of the CD. So if you need a copy, maybe hit me up. I will get it out to you. But shipping was kind of expensive, so I wanted to pick up some extra copies for some friends and recoup a little bit of the cost on the shipping there. So Nagelfar, Promo 94. Dude, get it. If you're a Norwegian black metal fan, get it. So both are limited to 50. Here's another weird one. This is Soul Grind with Wit Songs. Now, the band name alone, Soul Grind, inexcusable. That is not okay, guys. So if I pick this up in a used bin, I would probably not buy this if there were a lot of other options for things to buy. Now, this was sent to me by my friend Dave. Hi, Dave. And I really liked it. And I couldn't find a download of it. And I wound up finding it on Discogs for something like $5. So, yeah, why not? Pretty weird, progressive kind of late 90s Finnish death metal, something like that. Probably going to be a little too weird for most you normies, but really cool. I really need to give that some more time. How about we get a pooper out of the way? This is a real pooper. So I was in a thrift shop the other day, stacks of CDs, just a total fucking mess. I was like, I am determined to find something in this store worth buying. And it was difficult. There were precarious stacks of garbage all over the fucking place. I just can't handle a store like that. But I was surprised what I found. Very surprised. I can't believe this exists. And upon listening to it, it certainly shouldn't exist. A tribute to Steve Rowe and Mortification. Now, I don't know what circumstances led to Steve Rowe needing support or whatever when prayer is there for you to save your life from whatever. But I just thought, it's like $2. Why not? I'd never heard of any of the bands on this thing. I'm sure they're all Christian Australian bands. And I was just like, if I can hear a cover of Noah Was a Knower, or Scrolls of the Megaloth, or Northern Storm, yeah, I'll pay $2 for that. This is wretched. This is an absolutely wretched piece of shit. This might not live in my collection much longer, because it is absolutely horrendous garbage. But I have a little bit of a nostalgia for this band because when I was first getting into metal, and the Death Is Just the Beginning 4, maybe 5, had come out, and the video for Noah Was a Knower was on that VHS tape. And it was funny, it was tongue-in-cheek, stupid, and I've always kind of had a soft spot for these idiots. So, yeah, here's to you, Steve Rowe. Also, I dug this out of that shop. I was like surprised that I deduced that this was even a metal release because it's kind of hiding in plain sight. So I looked at the spine there. Band is called Ashen Immortality. Appeared to be self-released. And what kind of keyed me off here is I think this, we got a goth guy here, kind of goth industrial sort of looking guy. This guy looks kind of metal, and this lady. So I kind of had a thought that there's a chance this could maybe be cool. Maybe $2 cool, not like amazing or anything. Cover, pretty whatever. It doesn't look very metal. Pretty ambiguous. Not a lot of clues here telling me that this is a metal release. Again, pretty, not really giving me a whole lot to go on. But I picked it up. And this is actually very good metal. Came out in 96. And they were, UK female-fronted doom band. There's a little bit of kind of embellishments and eccentricities of the format there. But I'm hearing a lot of cathedral styles on this. In fact, I pretty much can't stand any cathedral. I like this more than that, but I'm not saying this is better than cathedral by any means, sure. But this was cool. Really rare find. Self-released. Well, I guess Forsaken Records. I don't know. That's probably their own imprint or something. But Diamond in the Rough. Really happy to find that. I'll try and put a clip for you in there. So how about one more before the umbilical strangulation is over with? Kind of got on a grind kick for a couple of days last week, and usually when I get on a grind kick, I wind up listening to Sublime, Cadaveric, Decomposition, and there's a couple holes in their discography that I need to fill, and one of them was This little bastard. Yeah, I love that cover art. So, I think these guys are kind of really, they don't get the love they deserve. They're very, very, very intense. The thing is, they're just not very consistent style-wise. They're always kind of changing members. And, you know, it's like, they kind of keep you on your toes. I love their Inventory of Fixtures album quite a bit, but that is a far cry from their self-titled album. This here is really, I guess, maybe the most bare bones, meat and potatoes, kind of regular ass grind of their discography, as far as I'm familiar. The drummer from Antaeus played with these guys for a while. I don't think he's on this album, but it is just brutal, unrelenting, absolutely psychotic grind. And I just really like the way they do things. All the vocals are improvised, no lyrics to speak of whatsoever. I will say, though, that the vocals in this band usually are kind of a tough pill to swallow. Not that they're bad. It's just like the guy grabs the microphone and just goes absolutely apeshit on it. And they wind up kind of like mixing it a little high in the overall thing, and it's a little overbearing. It's a little too much. I don't really like when someone like pushes the extremity beyond what it really is, or like uses volumes or distortion to kind of like over exaggerate what's already intense about what's going on. So just like a little bit minor gripe with the band, but I decided to pick this up for pretty cheap. I've never seen this actually, where a digipack is like formatted sideways. If you're a CD nerd like me, you know that kind of piques my interest. So that's kind of cool, right? Anyways, yeah, I back this band hard. This is also maybe one of my favorite band logos of all time. If I can get this, come on. I don't know why. Which? Okay, center one, but still, all the way over here. Okay, that's there you go. Sublime, cadaveric, decomposition. I don't know. Look it up. So that is my collection update. Yeah, I've been pretty busy with the band stuff and all that, but please do enter my contest for the Darkness LA DVD. You're gonna love it. If you don't want to just throw your hat in the ring, just buy a copy. It's $10. It's $10. This thing rules. Shipping all over the world. I believe Headsplit has copies of this too. You're going to be seeing this pop up in European distros, I think, as well. So get it while it's hot. Courtesy of yours truly. So that's it for now. We will see you next time. Look out for the drawing on the 1st of May. And we'll see you next time. That was a great video, and it was made possible mostly by me, but also thanks to the undying and kind support of my Patreon subscribers. Thank you all. I love you. If you are interested in being a part of my Patreon channel and supporting what I do, you are welcome to join at the URL below. It is only $6.66 per month, and you're going to love it. Thank you.